Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to In the Cards with the Viberarian. That's me. I'm Joelle, and I am here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. I'm undertaking that process for myself, and when I come here to share, it is in the sincere hope that you too are elevated, enlightened, and uplifted. So, this is In the Cards. This is all things tarot, oracle decks, card reading, and once a month, I get an opportunity to stream live up at Holistic Health and Wellness in Marietta, Georgia. I come up here third weekend of the month and do individual sessions with people, private readings. And so a couple months back, Don and I thought it would be cool to just go ahead and turn on my camera and do a live interactive. If you're in the area, feel free to stop by. We've got plenty of space here for anybody who comes in and out of the retail. Feel free to stop by and have a quick free conversation with me. So it's so exciting because being out here at Holistic is a beautiful vibration. And when they say your vibe attracts your tribe, I really get to experience that in a meaningful way. And by that, it means like everywhere that I go, it's fun times and happy people. And they all seem to just kind of congregate together. So yesterday was no exception. I've been out here. Oh, wonderful. We do have some people coming on in. Hey, how are you? Wonderful. And hello, everyone we've got folks. How are you doing? Come on in. I would get up and hug you, but I'm live streaming. So have a seat. I'm Joelle. Nice to see you again. How are you?
How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Nice to meet you. Mary, stand up, Marietta. Give you a hug. I follow you on Instagram. I met you before. Yes. I love your style and your vibe. And hello, everyone in Blue Ridge. I know that we've got Tanya and Jackie and JoJo and the whole crew up there that are celebrating the birthday of my dear brother Dion. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So this is a dual format. So I'm streaming to the people out on YouTube and also here in the space. So I was just getting started with my housekeeping. This is all things cards. I love decks. I love reading with them. I think they're an awesome divination tool that really, for me, it gives me an opportunity to have a nuanced conversation with spirit where my language may fail me. So I was here yesterday and a beautiful couple came in and they were browsing the decks over in the corner, and the gentleman was drawn to purchase this Christ consciousness deck. Now, I told him and his beautiful wife yesterday that I would talk about this deck today and share from it, and I hope that he is already using this deck and cracked it open last night. So anyway, what I wanted to share is, so this deck is the second deck from a lady named Amanda Ellis. Amanda is in the UK, and her first deck was the Archangel Metatron deck, and the artist that she works with is named Jane Delaford. Each of the emblems on these decks is an actual painting that Jane created, and on silk and on canvas and things like that. So there's a lot of work and intention that goes into this. Now, Amanda has been around a long time. Her gift originally was doing this color therapy and developing scents. So she has this whole product line of beautiful high vibrational sprays. They're just magical. Like the first time I saw her spray one of her sprays in a video, I could literally feel the vibration of it transmitted through the airways. And I doubted it a little bit at first until my bestie was like, "Did you feel the sparkles when she sprayed that spray?" And so we both were sold after that point. So I've had the Archangel Metatron deck for a long time. She just released the Christ Consciousness deck last year. Well, we're in August, maybe earlier this year, late at the end of last year. So what I want to do is pull some cards from this deck so you can get a sense of the vibration and the energy. And so since we have active audience here, hey, Jackie, we'll be able to have everyone be involved. So now I know you use cards. What about you, sir? Have you ever used cards?
A little bit. She's kind of got me into it a little bit.
Okay, it's fun times, right? Because you can find literally a card deck to deal with anything and any subject you're interested in. If you're a Star Trek person, if you're a cat person, if you're into retro, you can find somebody who's using that vibration to channel in messages. And I think that's really cool. That's why I love cards. So, all right, so the first thing we're going to do is come from her Metatron deck, since it's the older deck, and I'll have both of you pull a card, and then if you're in the live audience, somebody say a number between 1 and 3, and that will be our third card that we'll look at. Whoever cites in first. Thank you, everybody who's there. All right, so ladies first, pick a card. Okay, and gentlemen holding it down. All right, beautiful.
Thank you.
And then let's see if we have anyone here in the chat. We'll leave this here for them to go ahead and chime in. I know there's a bit of a video delay, so we've got numbers 1. Oh, hey, cousin Jill. Yeah, my cousin from Nebraska's on, so you got pile number 3, our card for that. Wonderful. So glad you made it. Okay, so for the first card from Metatron, let's go ahead and get the Christ consciousness, because I want to see the magic unfold, how the cards are resonant. So we're going to do the same thing for this layer. Okay, one more shuffle. Oh, I lost my feed. There we go. All right, here we go again. Okay. All right, and then we'll stick with number 3. All right. Okay, so now, for those of you who are interested, this is the back of the Metatron deck. Beautiful deck. They're gilded on the edges. I love when the cards have that little extra something, because it lets you know the card is thick enough that it can hold some extra special die. So I like that process. This one here, I don't think it is pearlized, but the cards are still similar quality. So you can see this is the Metatron and this is the Christ consciousness decks. All right, so for the first guidance we have here, indigo, mystery and mastery of life. Okay, we have this inner child like wishing on the star and wondering what is out there. And isn't that all part of our journey in terms of being able to explore? That's so beautiful. Very indigo-y. So we already know the indigos started like the real strong waves of energy vibration, bringing the ascension to the planet. So empath, psychically sensitive, turned in, tuned on. That's all of us who are in this consciousness wave. So let us see what wants to come through for that. I love Amanda's books because she has a repeat of the full text art, which is very good quality, and then a nice guidance. Now, her YouTube channel is Angelic Celestial Colors. She does lengthy, they're all at least an hour long at this point. She does her readings and her guidance. They're pretty hardcore to get into. As with anything on the internet, like you resonate with some of the things, but then you got to understand some things you're not going to resonate with. But overall, her frequency, I feel, is one of love and beauty and harmony, but we all bring our personal politics kind of into play and who we are. So there's been times I've been like, oh, Amanda, I don't know. And part of it is that also when I don't have a good enough understanding of UK politics to have an opinion about anyone over there of meaning. So I feel like if you don't live here then you probably don't have like a shoe in the game, so to speak, to have an opinion about our politics and things. So, but we're all humans operating in the world and we're entitled, and it's her channel. So I do watch her videos. And as I said, I purchased these products. So I wouldn't do that if I didn't think her vibration overall was nice. So, all right, indigo holds mystery and beckons you into its embrace to reveal the meaning of existence and the meaning of you. You cannot discover yourself by staying only in the warm sunshine of life. You need the searching times of the dark night of the soul as well. Okay, can we all relate to the dark night of the soul? Oh, yes. Thank you, Dark Knight, for shaping me. I tell you what, anybody who's been on the other side of that experience is kind of like, yep, it was through the fire, right? And you need the deep, dark midnight skies to shower you with starlight, reminding you of your place in the wider universe and the planets and star systems that carry aspects of your soul. You are of the stars, of moonlight, starlight, and galactic origins. Coming in as a child, you remain close to all that you have witnessed in the void before birth. You recall your God-given power and the magnificence of all creation. You wonder at the simplest things, the tree blowing in the breeze, the texture of the bark on its trunk, the soft fur of an animal, the warmth of water on the skin. As adults, we lose that connection to our senses and all that is. We need to be as children once more, curious to explore and seek out new adventures and ask, why? As a child does as it tries to make sense of its new world. We've all been there with that. But why? But why? Right? No answer is ever good enough for a child because there's always one more step of like, but why? So that could be a good thing or an irritating thing, both, I think. There is so much to be studied, learned, and experienced in this vast place we call home. There are so many opportunities for soul growth and heart expansion. Indigo asks you to let go of what you think you know and follow the light to what you could know. It is the path of the master, of the one seeking meaning to all that is. Pulling this card may also mean that your powers of intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience are increasing at this time. If so, invite Metatron around you to reveal new insights, ways of sensing spirit, and all that lies hidden like magical jewels waiting to be discovered. Indigo invites you to explore behind the veil to that which is unseen, to delve into your unconscious and the realms of mysticism, intuition, and dreams. Pay particular attention to your dreams at this time. What themes are coming up to be looked at and explored? Maybe figures from your past that you need to make peace with, or loved ones who have passed on wishing you well. Note daydreams too, and allow time to visualize, to wish, and to believe in magic. Creating visions that are possible if we dare to dream them makes them come true. With indigo, this is done from a grounded state of being. Those drawn to the indigo ray are also comfortable carrying authority and have enough presence to see anything through. By searching for meaning, healing, and connection back to ourselves and our origins, we gain the world, and the world gains the highest aspect of us. Sink into indigo's depth and mystical beauty and discover anew. That's beautiful, right? That's a whole teaching. I love this deck. Beautiful. And it's so interesting because as I was driving in, I was behind a car that was going so slow. And I was like, okay, what am I supposed to see here? And the license plate was 5959. This is on page 59. 59 is also a synchronicity number for me for my spirit sync. So I was already paying attention, to the vibration. And the card that was flipped over as I was setting things up was inner child. So there's like a double message here of like honoring that aspect of self to come forward and have whatever dialogue needs to happen at this time. So, all right, let's see what you have, sir, from there. Ooh, endings. Ooh, look at that. Endings and sunsets and that beautiful pier. Oh my goodness. It's a beautiful image for what can sometimes be a harsh energy. It says you are held. Okay, so it's interesting because even as we step off into that void at the end of the plank, knowing that we're held regardless of where we're going to go after this conclusion happens. Very, very interesting. And for those with the beachy vibes, I love that came through as well. 9 is an ending. It says you are held. Drawing this card is about an ending for you now. You know that you have reached the end of a road when you have nothing left to give, no more energy to fight, no more desire for a turnaround in present day fortunes, just the need for a clean break from the past or whatever no longer serves you. What you face with the ending now presenting in your life is a path to freedom. Yet it feels daunting, an uncharted territory about which you have no understanding. It feels safer to stay with what you know. The jetty out to sea on this card offering an interesting vista, but you would like to turn around and go back rather than jump into the new. Metatron asks you to look again to see whether this ending is your choice or whether it has been thrust upon you, as there is no real way back anymore. The energy has shifted and moved on, and so must you. It may have to do with any area of life, relationships, job, residence, health, life stage. We face many endings in life. The lesson is knowing and how to adapt and change and yield when necessary. It may take a little time, but you know the answer, and that is to begin again. The only option in life when something ends. For now, you are not supposed to have all the answers. You are asked to put your hand in Metatron's and realize that this ending is a blessing in disguise. It may not feel like it now, but you will grow from it and learn from it, and ultimately it will make you stronger. Put aside any doubts and fears. It is understandable that they feel so real to you now, but they are only an illusion keeping you imprisoned where you are with no compass to steer you forward. Walk the bridge, and you do so with Metatron at your side. The sunset in the evening sky telling you that day is closing and evening beckons. It is time. There will be a new day, and after the darkness, the sun will come back up again. This is an eternal divine promise to you. Enter the waters of change, and like a life float, all the support of the angelic realm will keep you buoyant and flowing to where you next need to be. Endings are necessary, otherwise, life cannot bring in the new. Nature understands this, the sun and the moon, knowing when to rise and fall. And you know that for now, an ending is needed, but the new beginning will follow. Be like the birds in the sky who know when the season has changed and migration to a different place is needed. This is the way of all, and you are urged to look at what is ending in your life now and fly free to the next opportunity or life stage that is offered. All is well. That is interesting. That is so interesting because the indigos, we came here to bring about the ending of the old paradigm. We came here at that intersection when the Piscean, the structure, the domestication, the known, the conformity is meant to fall away. So it's like we have that childlike and that newness of heart and spirit that is needed to really take that leap forward for humanity. So this year, especially with it being an eclipse year, there's lots of endings and things that are eclipsed out of our reality. We can observe it all around us, right? So that can be a good thing and a dark night of the soul, but it can also be like a really good thing. If we look back to the pandemic, it was harsh for many people, but for others, it gave the space needed to come into a different, more holistic vibration. So that fear of what's going to happen when the old goes away was quickly replaced by, I have plenty to fill it up with. I've never done this before. I've never had time like this in the middle of the day before. What am I going to do? So that's part of that ending and allowance, and to have the time in our reality where we can play more. So beautiful, companionable information. And let's see what Jill's card. Wow. Okay, this is why I said wow, because it says New Dawn. Okay, now the other interesting thing is, Dawn, come up here. You got to come up here, Dawn. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Dawn, you got to come over here. So, Dawn, let's talk about our New Dawn experience. We don't even have a chair for. Okay, so Dawn and I went to Mount Shasta on a heart-opening retreat a couple years ago. And we went into this beautiful gallery from this lady. Her name is Haruko Blue Star Child. And she is an artist who draws light language and beautiful things. She has a gallery in Shasta. So I went on in there and I'm looking at all these portal drawings and stuff like that. And I'm like, Dawn, you gotta come in. So Dawn like floats in the store. It's like a magnet drew you.
Yeah. I came inside the store and see, and I wasn't into all of this stuff at the time. And I come inside the store. Next thing I know, my shoes are off. I'm running towards the picture.
Right. Yeah. And then we walk through the back room door, and there on the wall was a picture titled "A New Dawn," and I was like, Dawn, apparently you're supposed to. Here, thank you. I was like, well, Dawn, apparently you're meant to get this picture. And so you have that print.
I do.
Over in the shop proper here.
I do.
So to see a new dawn is always so interesting. And here it also does have like the mountains and the solar rays of activation. And it's interesting because, again, Mount Shasta is one of those magical portal places. And it was amazing because we saw light shifts, we saw Pleiadian Arcturian light shifts, we had platings, went to portals, we went through Ascension Rock. It was like the most magical experience. And Dawn, it was very activating for her because within a year of coming back, she had retired from her job and opened this store. Oh, yes, you have one.
And it doesn't look magical, but that is a picture of it.
So this is a new dawn. Amazing, right? Like, I'll pass this around. But so Haruko is just beautiful. And again, that blue, that indigo blue, she's here manifesting frequency patterns and arts that are impacting in a very unique way. And the fact that there's space for her to be in this expression, to me, is huge. That's another part of this indigo journey. So I had, like, again, I said, I have to laugh at the whole idea of this new dawn. And one of the things that we did experience is we went over the mountains to go over to the coast to see the elder redwoods, which was a beautiful experience, except it was very harrowing because we went through the most mountainous, rocky passes of Humboldt County, California, which is it's like where the illicit drug trade flourished 20 years ago. And we were going on this little jagged road, like you can see here, and it seemed like we were going to fall off the cliff at any given moment. Okay. And Dawn kept saying, are you okay? Are you okay? Because it was truly like a dark night of the soul drive to get us back home to Shasta after having this excursion. But once we were all done, it was like, that was amazing, right? So there's that dark night of the soul again that says it's harrowing and it can be intense and frightening and somewhat traumatizing. But when we get to the other side, that sunset and that elevation that's going to happen, the new dawn that is going to arise out of this is going to be magnificent. All right, so here we have, welcome back. The journey has been long and the challenge is hard, but you come now to the end of these difficulties ready to start anew. You may have thought you would never reach this place, even now finding it hard to truly believe the darker days are behind you. You may have struggled and also lost faith during these times, yet you were always able to keep going, persevering, and believing in better times ahead. A new dawn is birthed when we come out of a tunnel of our own darkness into a new landscape. Often it can be a journey away from a dark night of the soul experience back to a healed version of ourselves. It takes courage to take the first steps out of the tunnel into the unknown world. This is where Metatron helps. The light can be blinding after being in the darkness for so long. It takes adjustment for all of our senses to get used to a new reality. Stand on this precipice of a new dawn and just appreciate for a moment all you have been through and all you survived, with the knowledge that you are stronger as a result. The path ahead is now a blank page that you have earned, a page on which you can write your new story and destiny. For now, just keep focused on the sunrise ahead, signifying a new day and a new start. The sun's beauty and reflected rays bring warmth where they are needed and lift your spirits to see new possibilities. The dream that was once a far-off vision is now closer than you ever thought possible. Allow the healing from the bright light to bathe your body, mind, and soul. It has been so long since you truly felt this level of light within and around you. Relax. You are not supposed to see the whole new story yet, which is why the landscape is bare. In time, you will add the main characters and things that you want to enjoy and work with in this new world. Excuse me. I have to laugh because as you drive down 75 South, there's a sign for the truck stop or gas station called Buc-ee's. Right. If you know about Buc-ee's, you know, right? So this poster says main character energy, and it's got the little Buc-ee beaver, on the thing. And I giggled about it because I was like, yeah, Buc-ee is the boss, right? So like, how are we going to embody our main character energy? That's beautiful. You know about Buc-ee's. Oh my goodness. In time, you will add the main characters and things that you want to enjoy and work with in this new world. There will be some behavior and maybe certain people that you have had to symbolically or physically leave behind to get to this new place. This is fine. Look towards the horizon. You cannot yet see who will appear over it or what surprises await you. Yet, look at the sunlight and feel the warmth and love that is here. This new journey is one to be savored and experienced in all its glory. This is a friendly place, a universe that embraces the new you and all you truly came here to be. Welcome back to the light. All right, that's beautiful. Okay, this first layer is great. Wonderful. Okay, let's keep moving to the Christ consciousness. All right, so you picked Marietta. Oh, wow, look at this. Children. Inner child, yes. And we got that beach theme again. Okay, we've got that going into the water. I promise you, I plan to be like this child when I get down to Panama City Beach this week. Okay, so I love that with arms wide open, right? I hear that Creed song. Beautiful butterflies coming out and just grounded. He's got red trunks on, so he's grounded even though in the water. It's like coming home in this energy. All right, so we have the children again. So I love how this happens when it comes down with a fractal connection between the two layers. That's why I love cards, because you can't deny the synchronicities when they happen. All right. Children, cherish and enter their world, the world of children. In his ministry, Jesus Jesus continually referred to the purity and innate spiritual intelligence of children. When the disciples tried to keep them away, he answered, "Let the children come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Another time he taught that unless we become like children, we will find it hard to enter the kingdom of heaven, also giving a warning to anyone who harms a child of the consequences to come. The kingdom of heaven isn't a destination, but a place that is here now via a frequency that you can hold while on earth. You are the creator and can create heaven, such as when you anticipate kindness. So you are a witness to it, and as you smile, the world smiles back at you. Barriers based on color, class, or creed are lessened as you help birth a more harmonious place. You live in the moment and create joy all around you. Children do this effortlessly, seeing every day as a new adventure and wanting to embrace all that is to be offered, often transforming anything into a positive. The rainy day becomes an opportunity to splash in puddles, the messy backyard a den to build, the sad neighbor an opportunity to paint a best wishes card. Children bloom in nature. They are at one with their spirit, loving the trees to climb, the flowers to make a daisy chain, the seeds to sow, and the butterflies to count. A child who is happily splashing around in the sea, flying kites in the air, or sledding down a snowy hillside is always in the moment, savoring every second, and is a joy to behold. They understand the importance of play, curiosity, experimentation, and learning something new. We have much to learn from them, and via becoming more childlike in these respects, we can help loosen the hard, painful edges that life can give us as we age. Children are born honest and good, without judgment or hate. They are not cynical or disillusioned by life or weighed down by responsibilities and duty. Being moved around them, we can rediscover By being around them, we can rediscover the qualities that our own childlike sense of wonder, knowing that our spirit within relishes the renewal and optimism that this can bring. Observing your own children, grandchildren, or the offspring of friends is to enter their world, and you are given a key to unlock hidden, unexpressed parts of yourself. Maybe as a child, you weren't taught how to play or had unhappy times. So allow yourself to participate now in their games and fairy tale books, to help kick a ball around the park, or to play on the beach and eat ice cream. Okay, I see that. Simple things are highlighted, as well as rediscovering that life can be fun and good moments had, truly acknowledging as children do that God's kingdom is indeed good. You may be a parent, grandparent, caregiver, teacher, or counselor helping and supporting children, or you may be wanting to start a family or are being asked to adopt, foster, or work with children's charities. All are highlighted by this card, and as a protector of children, you will defend them at collective and individual levels, shielding them from harm and ensuring their home life and educational needs are met. You may also help with your local town to steer and support children in forms of sports groups or other extracurricular activities that enrich the whole community. Be open to what they can teach you as you support them in Christ consciousness in action, and sees the good shepherd looking after the whole flock. Now, I love this because as an adult in Atlanta, how many play things can we find to do? We can go to balloon exhibits. We can go to trampolining. We can go axstone. We can go biking. We can go riding go-karts. We can play massive pillow fights. And yet there's always something to do where your inner child with money now. That's what I like to say. It's like I'm an inner child with the adult bank account, right? So what can we do with ourselves when we go out and experience and have access to, say, driving to the beach? Like, I never grew up around water. So for me, when I go to the beach and play, I'm getting to have something my inner child never got to experience. So that freedom and joy is definitely something that we should all have a little bit of every day. Okay, so let's see what you got in companionship to this. Babies are the theme of the day. Oh my goodness. So it's kind of like our little contract, wisdom bringer, earth school. Yeah, it's like our soul contract on this little parchment paper here. It's very interesting. It's written in our stars what we decide to do and what we're trying to come down to experience and embody. So this baby is peaceful, at least. I can hear that little lullaby song. All right, we're talking about that birth of the new conscious, wisdom bringer. This is card number 3. All right, thanks for hanging in with me, everyone online. Thank you, everyone here as well. Okay, here we go. Much of life is remembering of what we already know. We come into this incarnation from pure spirit with eons of lifetimes and acquired soul knowledge. The journey back to remembering who we truly are, where we come from, and where we go back to is the biggest adventure of all. When here, despite the great wisdom we have within us, it often lies buried, waiting for the moment it is needed and can be retrieved. As children, we enter education and learn what is on the curriculum, yet what is contained within us is far greater, with more depth and breadth than we can imagine. Our senses are our antennas. They can guide and steer us to learn to trust ourselves regarding what feels right and what feels wrong, and what appears to be true, but I sense is not. What sounds harmonious and what words and energy hurt my ears. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? A human struggling with limited understanding, or a wise old soul who is waiting to be acknowledged? It is said that the eyes are the doorway to the soul, and it is interesting that when newborn, our eyes take a few weeks to mature and for vision to be clear, as if we aren't quite ready for the veil to be totally lifted whence we came and to reveal everything. Stand tall today and see who you really are, a divine soul. Oh my goodness, I lost my place. A divine soul with lifetimes of experience where you have been tested and gained valuable firsthand knowledge regarding how to respond, react, and be. There is a whole library you can tap into to help you, a fountain of wisdom within. Of course, acquiring new knowledge and wisdom never stops, and it may be that what you struggle with now is in fact your greatest teacher. The problem at hand is trying to lead you to the solution, and the difficult relationship may be there to teach you, including how not to be or what not to put up with. There are opportunities to learn from every interaction and experience. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? What did I learn today? What is this person trying to show me? And why am I finding this difficult? It may also be time to undertake some new study, from modern day books to ancient texts and philosophical concepts. Indeed, the thirst for wisdom should never leave us. The desire to be challenged via debate, differences of opinion, and the sharing of knowledge is important. The art of truly listening is also vital if we are to absorb and properly apply all that we learn. As such, we need to make proper time for that, space to process new ideas, and regular clearing out of what is unimportant, including what we have heard, gossip, and hearsay. Look around today at what life really wishes to teach you. There is opportunity to do so from nature, travel, and meeting new people, even if it's just a stranger on the bus, as well as going within to listen to our own well of knowledge. Jesus also showed us that what we need to learn may come from unexpected places. For example, the beggar having more to share of worth than the rich man, the child comprehending more than the adult, the enemy more to teach than an ally. We are all at Earth School and come to share what we know, which includes how we can learn together as one. That is, to me, the most important lesson that you can learn, is that everything is me. Everyone is me. You are me. I am you. The sooner we put that frequency out, kids open-heartedly just grab people, hug, go to the smile, go to the energy. We are one, that same child-free lack of barrier. And the sooner we can learn this, the sooner we're going to graduate this planet out into a higher frequency that operates more harmoniously. All right, so the last overriding card from the Christ consciousness. Now, before I read this, I want to share with you that today Dawn picked out some new decks and put them down. And Jill says hi, Dawn, from her trip. She had Reiki when she was here visiting Nebraska. Dawn pulled out some new decks in the inventory today, and of course I was bedazzled, and so I am going to be getting these decks, and I'll have them on in the cards in the future. But I'm getting the Magical Spirit deck by Alexis Raccoon. She is an Instagram artist that I have been following for years. I love her art, and I didn't know that she had a deck, so I'm very excited to see how this works. And then I've been looking at this What We've Forgotten deck about the ancients. You know, I do a lot of things with Akashic remembrance, the ancestors. So I love that idea. So this one, again, resonated. You can kind of see a sense of the artwork on the back of the box. But the one that I'm going to open up today is the Mystic Martian Oracle. So you remember how I said that you can really find an oracle deck for any group of interest that you have. This is my shout out for that. So when I open this deck, we have a new audience member here. I'm going to ask that you pull this for us when we get to that. So that'll be the wrap up here after we get this last Christ Consciousness deck. Does anybody have any questions? Everyone here, thank you for commenting. Any questions? We're good to go, right? Okay. Oh, discernment. The veil is being removed, right? Our eyes are being opened. We're being illuminated. That's really what Revelation talks about, you know. The apocalypse is the unveiling or the uncovering of something coming to our awareness. So all that spirit that's behind the veil has the opportunity to be observed. Truth and clarity, and that's 43. 7 is also my calling card for the divine feminine energy. And if you tune into my last reading on Wednesday, 7 was a very prominent number in that reading as well, having to do with the divine feminine and the high priestess. So this card is very reminiscent of the high priestess energy, which dwells in silence through the inner knowing versus through the telling and external delivery. So let's see here. All right. You may be faced with an issue where discernment is key, and you need to ascertain whether something is true, applicable, or aligned to your beliefs. It may be something you have read, heard, or seen, but be careful that someone else's opinions are not distorting your own intuition and wisdom. Our body's hunches and gut feelings are wonderful barometers as to whether something or someone is good for us or not. However, often we can be swayed by what others are doing rather than following our own instincts. You may also have a dilemma that leaves you confused or uncertain, not yet having all the information you seek. So ask for a sign or for what needs to be revealed to be shown to you. Sometimes we must face what is uncomfortable. This can be about our own behavior, weaknesses, or wounding. We may not want to face our grief or destructive habits for fear it may consume us. We may be unable to make difficult decisions, even if doing so will ultimately free or help us in the long run. We may also be blinded to someone else's faults, cruelty, or insensitivity, as well as being afraid of saying what needs to be expressed or disengaging from what we know is wrong. We can ignore moral and ethical aspects that require attention, focus, time, and action. We can turn a blind eye to collective problems such as our material consumption and the planet's needs because we feel we can make little difference. Yet if everyone turns away, nothing will change. New Earth is born via new paradigms and us caring enough to weed and take care of our own backyard, figuratively and literally. When we take off the blindfold to see what truly requires attention, we may at first be overwhelmed, but our eyes soon adjust to the new frequencies and ways of being. We learn through new practices and ways of being, and we discover we are always supported. This card also signifies uncertainty in showing who you really are for fear of being judged or ridiculed. Stand strong and be seen, and know that you are held as you become more of who you were born to be. In doing so, you help others find their courage and strength. Okay, didn't it say you are held as you are born? Seeking courage and strength. Okay. Well, we should remember that walking in Christ consciousness is not about turning our gaze away from what is problematic. Jesus mixed with people whom others rejected, refusing to abide by just laws, unjust laws, and norms that deemed them outcasts. His conversation with a woman at the well shows him unconcerned that she was drawing water alone, having been shunned for having 5 marriages. Nor was he concerned about interacting with a Samaritan, being himself a Jew. He saw who she truly was since he had no blindfold on. In this and many other incidences in the Gospels, he showed the importance of bearing witness to a person's potential, goodness, light, and beauty. We do that best so we can look past transgressions, mistakes, and someone's humanness and see their soul via their eyes. You may also have a dilemma that leaves you confused or uncertain, not yet having all the information you seek. So ask for a sign for what needs to be revealed to be shown to you. Signs can be anything, such as seeing a feather as depicted here, or anything that you give significance to, such as number sequences like 444, 222, all of which imply a code or meaning that you may link to it. Okay, that's what I said, code or synchronicity. So this is, again, beautiful. And there's so much being projected at us, like consciousness, ideas, beliefs, stories, narratives, fictions, some known and some unknown. So always dwelling in that inner dialogue, and the inner version of what is going on will be how we could best be served going forward. So, all right, I'm going to crack open this beautiful deck here. Now, before I use the deck, I am going to clear the energy and consecrate it in my own way. You can develop your own protocol for using it. One thing I like to do about cards, and why I talk about it, is because there's a lot of very ritualized teachings that you have to do this and you need to do it like that. And the book says this, and especially like older generation readers would, ceremonially wrap your cloth and not let anybody touch your deck, and all of those kind of ritualized things. I'm not as structured as that. I have my own things that I do that help me trust that I'm connected with spirit. But I've kind of like walked away from the structure of the old domestic structured way. And I think the reason we have so many cards out there now is because the same thing has happened for everybody else. They're like, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to create it in the way that speaks to me, and it'll be fine. So I always allow people to touch my cards because I know how to clean my cards and to take care of them for the conversation that I want to have. So this is very interesting. Just even looking at the back of this deck, I'm like, oh, that's a weird vibration. It's not even Marvin Martian, it's just Mystic Martian. So just give me a pause here one moment. I always ask that my cards and the guidance in any way that is delivered through me, through cards or otherwise, be for the highest good of all and only of unconditional love and truth. So we're going to see what the overlighting message wants to come through from our mystic Martian origins, our indigo star child origins, that have lived ancient times and ancient lives and came here to help with this frequency now. So a couple more shuffles here. All right. Okay. Could you come pick a card?
Okay.
All right. What is it? Tausetians are resilient, bold, and sassy. This is card number 21. Wow, this is interesting. All right, brilliant, bold, and sassy. We also had 21 in this indigo child card. So, do we have any other? That's a 3. But that's beautiful. This is kind of giving me Queen of Wands vibes if you're into tarot. That sacral energy is strong and popping, the creative vivaciousness, fire sign, female energy. So let's see what the guidance wants to come from Tausetians. Okay, this is cool. Tausetians predominantly reside in the Cetus or the whale constellation. The whale constellation has been very big this year. Hello, beautiful soul whisperer down in Ecuador. I'm so glad you tuned in. I love seeing the community connect through there. So part of me. So the whale constellation has been moving across important transits this year. And in the teaching of the stellar nations cosmology, the whale planet deals a lot with the redemption of that which has been extremely separated from harmony. So if you could think about that as fallen out of frequency or fallen out of unity, separation, and like a darkness, or what we would call like evil, or when you fall so far out of harmony that you're willing to take life or to conduct violence against others and to take away their sovereignty, the whale constellation is where you go to experience the journey of redemption. And if any of you are familiar with In the Search for Spock, in the so the whales were in the primordial waters of the Earth planet, singing in part of the frequency of encodement. So I think this is interesting that this is whale constellation related. It says this is relatively near Earth, only 12 light years away. They are humanoid with an olive tan complexion and black hair. Some say they look Mediterranean, Slavic, and or South American in appearance. Like the Pleiadians, they have slightly pointed ears. Their build is very solid, typically with strong brawny legs. Their noses are broad, and they mostly have short Roman crew-style haircuts. Tausetians prefer to reside in secluded dwellings. They are in alliance with Pleiadians and other off-planet societies who have shared similar historical experiences of being preyed upon during draconian invasions. The Tausetians' history of being victimized by a predatory species is still raw, and they are still battling wounds. Their intense grudge in this area is very obvious. Their focus is on raising awareness of covert mind control techniques, and they are concerned about the small grays. They talk in a guttural tone and are very demonstrative and audacious when talking. Their motherships are huge plasma crafts. Tausetians are known to be brilliant pilots and galactic navigators. The card meaning is combative, bold, resilient, outspoken, speaking your truth, intense, conviction, blunt, candid, sassy, and assertive. Okay, that's interesting. What's it say here? Oh, the reverse, if you're in an aspect of challenge, belligerent, holding a grudge, antagonistic, insensitive, bombastic, blathering, and overly defensive. See, that is so interesting because it talks about in their story that they are still battling the wounds of being victimized by a predatory species. Like, how many of us can relate to the experience in our own life where we had an encounter with a predatory system that took parts of us or victimized parts of us. Maybe we've been contributing our work efforts to a corporation that just wants more and more and doesn't pay wages more and more. Like there's so many different ways that we are echoing through that frequency. And unfortunately, one of the polarity things then is to victimize when you get the power yourself. So learning the lessons to take out that grudge match type of abuse and harm is something that we are all having a frequency opportunity to experience. So this is a very interesting deck. I'm glad it picked it up. I'm going to learn a lot from like understanding who these different races and mystic Martian beings are. So, so that's simple. How you just grab a deck and begin to be able to bring in messages for it. So this has been a great time. I mean, these messages from the Amanda Ellis decks about seeding the consciousness and how to really embody a joyful and playful spirit is just that's the fun part when you get through the dark night of the soul part, is that then you get to like play in the blank page that it talks about, where you can really, if Humpty Dumpty fell and all the pieces broke apart, we get to choose which pieces we want to. I guess it's a little wrong to say we get to choose what pieces, because what happens is we don't discard the pieces of self that we decide we may not want to bring into the new picture, because that would be disassociation, right? So, excuse me. So like, I know this version of Joelle, and she's welcome in the fold. She's not ever disassociated from me and how I choose to embody now. But I don't choose to bring her woundedness into like active rationale and response in the now moment. I can hear her voice when she says, hey, remember we were victimized last time, right? I can hear that, but I don't let her run the show in my new page of what I'm writing. And then how I craft her story is with compassion and judgment and acceptance from the now, instead of blaming and shaming and judging that version of myself as I put back together this new being that I'm going to be emerging. So I love this. This is beautiful energy. And I'm so glad everyone came here. Let me just shout out people in the chat as well. Now, do you have a YouTube channel, Marietta?
I don't, no.
Okay, but you're doing your thing on Instagram. Mm-hmm. What's your Instagram?
El Marietta.
El Marietta, Marianna. And she's always got thought-provoking little blurbs like, hey, have you thought about so you know what I'm saying? So I really enjoy following your definitely a positive voice out there. And of course, Holistic Health and Wellness, Soul Whisperer, who just popped on in the end. I know you have some beautiful decks as well. Her channel on YouTube, you can follow her talks with spirit and guidance as well. So thank you for everyone who's been watching in the Good Vibe Tribe. I can see you out in the world, and I appreciate you bringing your vibration. And when you see this at a later point in time, also know that it is the rightly aligned time for your particular journey. So I'm going to end the stream now and head on over to take my appointments. And don't forget, you can catch me third weekend of the month up here at Holistic for more lives and more in the cards. So, all right, namaste.